What is the best rum for a rum and coke? That question comes up a lot every single week without there actually being an obvious answer. I mean, it's so subjective, right? My favourite could be completely different to what you would pick out. But can we at least try to sort of break it down? But before we get into it, in the comments below, type in, what is your favourite rum? What's your go-to rum for a rum and coke? What would you grab first? Let me know in the comments below. And then while you're down there, give the video a big old like, because that really helps me grow the channel and reach more of the rum family. Now, for donkey's years in the UK, like way before cocktail bars sort of became a thing, you know, way before we had so much choice in rum, you know, Bacardi and Coke is going to be the big player, the original kind of Cuba Libre. And you know what? Rightly so. For years, I know people that have slagged this for not being a great rum. But you know what? I will not have a bad word said against this as a rum and coke. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It is, for me, crafted to be that ultimate kind of rum and coke. I wouldn't say ultimate, actually. That's a bit of a stretch. But a really good rum and coke. Much more though than Bacardi's developed as a daiquiri or a mojito rum for me personally. But doing the taste test, doing the blind taste test, do you know what? I was really happy with that as a rum and coke. And I go back to when I first started bartending, 1995. You know, people coming into the pub and to the bar were saying rum and coke. That's what we'd give them. It was either a Bacardi and Coke, that was the bar call, or a rum and coke. And yes, we had Captain Morgan's, but we did way more volume of Bacardi than we ever did anything else. But now, some 25 years on, can we do better? Even within the white rum category, can we do better? Now, I personally think we can. For me, I'm going to naturally tip a nod to this Plantation 3 stars. I think this is a banging rum for a rum and coke. It's quite a bit strong as well, 37.5% ABV, 41.2% ABV in this. You've got more rummy notes coming out there. You've got a subtle sweetness. You've got slight vanilla-y notes in there. It really is a cracking rum for a rum and coke. But then something always pulls me back to that original kind of Cuba Libre, the Spanish, the Cuban style of rums. So something always really does pull me back to Ron Cuba. For value for money, I think that is a standout kind of white rum. I really do love that. And banging rum and coke, banging daiquiri and banging mojito rum, to be fair. But is white or light rum even the answer to the best rum and coke? There is so many other categories out there to play with these days. I mean, in the UK, spiced rums are really doing the rounds at the moment. You know, for people, yes, they are going to be a little bit sweeter. Of course they are. That's a whole different debate. But for people that love the kind of flavours, whether it's the sort of vanilla notes that you get off most sort of spiced rums, whether it's ginger, cinnamon or anything like that, for a lot of people, spiced rum is the ultimate rum and coke. And I have to admit, me personally, years gone, perhaps not in the last sort of 5 years or so, but for me, if I was going rum and coke, I would naturally go for a spiced rum. But that's just the kind of world that revolved around me. I loved my spiced rums back in the day. Your Sailor Jerry's, your Krakens, to be fair, and then the original kind of Dead Man's Fingers. I loved all that vibe. But without meaning for this to sound harsh, my palate has grown up massively in the last 5 years. For me now, spiced rums in mixes like this, really not my thing. That's not to say that I don't enjoy them. I do, I love them. But now, if someone said rum and coke to me, I would naturally go for something on the top 2 shelves behind me more than I would spiced rum. But that's just age and my palate sort of drying out a little bit. But having done a lot of these comparison videos recently, I can't get away, and I've covered a lot of categories, I can't get away from the dark or the black rums and cokes. They, for me, were my out-and-out favourites. I mean, I absolutely loved Myers. Myers was fantastic. Couldn't say a bad word against that, much more than Gosling's was for me in that category. But they were the first 2 rums that I tasted. But then when I got up to tasting the Plantation OD, that just smashed it out the park. For me, that is my all-star rum and coke. We've got light vanilla notes coming through there. We've got hints of caramel with a touch of fruitiness, still by being worlds apart from the sweet kind of spiced rums. And for me, this is kind of the weird thing with doing all these and going down this rum journey, because for me, light and white rums and dark and black rums essentially are very, very niche categories. If you want to kind of lump all the categories together under colours, what about the gold rums? I mean, just looking behind me here, 90%, or probably a bit of an exaggeration, 75% of the rums I've got here behind this bar, I would naturally classify as the gold rums, whether it's the kind of 5, 8-year-olds, 10-year-olds, even 12-year-olds even, they're still gold in colour. It's not the heavily coloured caramel rums or the unaged light rums. But doing all those comparison videos, putting all those different rums head to head, none of the gold rums, none of them that I tasted when do that, while I liked them, you know, they weren't terrible at all, they were still really good. None of them came up to Myers, let alone Plantation OD. And that's without even mentioning the 2 lighter white rums, the Plantation 3 Stars and the Ron Cube Carta Blanca. For me, those 4 rum alone were head and shoulders in a rum and coke above any of the gold rums that I tried. You know, we've got some big players when we talk about gold rums, some big players. When we go to the cheaper end of the scale, we've got like Mount Gay, for example, Mount Gay Eclipse, which a lot of people would buy for a rum and coke. We've got Havana Especial, you know, crafted as a rum and coke. It's not crafted as a daiquiri mojito rum, it's crafted as a lighter cocktail, as a rum and coke rum. We've got Chairman's Reserve as well. But for me, personally, and my own palate, those lighter rums and those dark black rums, head and shoulders above any of the other rums for rum and coke. And of course, we can't do a rum and coke video for the ultimate that without flipping a nod to the actual cola that you use. I mean, I've said it time and time again, I've got a bit older, I can't handle the gas so much, the sugar as much, so I'm very much onto the zeros or the maxes, like the Pepsi Maxes, the Coke Zeros. But, you know, the Coke plays as an important role in the rum and coke as to what the rum does, if not bigger, if not better. And you've got other players, you've got the Fever Trees, you've got the posh Coca-Colas as well. So the one thing I've learned from this journey so far, 8 months in, especially when it comes to rum and coke, is don't just settle for mediocre. Don't just experiment with different rums in the same category, experiment with rums from different categories. Because what you will notice is a huge gulf in the difference in taste between the rums in different categories. I'm not talking minimal, I'm talking completely and utterly different types of drinks. You may have come into this video thinking rum and coke is just rum and coke, but I promise you it really isn't. Now, as I said at the top, if you've already found your ultimate rum and coke, brilliant, congratulations. Let me know in the comments below what it is. But if you haven't found that ultimate rum and coke yet, again, what do you fancy trying next? Again, what would be your next rum that you bought to try out in a rum and coke? Slip that in the comments below. And I haven't mentioned this for absolutely ages, but if you're looking for more help on your journey, then come and join my membership community and come and join into the Discord community as well. There's an outer part of the Discord which is completely free. The inner part is for the paid membership, but we're in there every single day chatting about rum, helping people out, talking about rums that we've just tasted, new products. It really is a fun community to be a part of. So just check the membership options out by clicking the join button underneath the video. Now, if you've not tried any dark or black rums and you think, oh, okay, I'll give that a go, then watch this video here to see what I thought of the category.